All right, guys, for this job, you're gonna need a Phillips head screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, a 10 millimeter. This was very helpful with a Phillips head to get all the cowling covering off. And then this guy was also very helpful, but not necessary. If you don't have this, that gas tank's gonna be in your way. You may have to remove the other side of the cover and help move that gas tank out of the way a little bit. But this was really helpful, guys. Harbor Freight, like $4. The needles, very essential for cleaning out those jets. Eyeglasses for being able to see the jet close up. It's a tiny, tiny hole. And then, of course, some carb cleaner anytime you're working on a carburetor. Seems like that would be a good item to have. But that's it, guys. That's all you need. It was a fairly simple project. Once I figured out where that second jet was, I was able to get after it, and it was super corroded. That first jet, I thought I had it, but I noticed my fuel was still not flowing through, so that second jet was the ticket, and it's running like a champ now. Okay, so once you've taken all the screws out of this panel here, we've got to take them out of both grates, the air intake and the exhaust. And so it's a lot easier to lose these screws. This hose right here is your fuel drain. So if you grab yourself a handy Phillips head screwdriver, you turn this screw right here. This is how you would drain it out of the carburetor when you're done using it. But if you don't do that, what'll happen is when you open that screw, nothing will happen. You've got to turn your on-off switch into the on position. So mine's actually in the on position, but I've got no fuel flowing. It's because this is jammed up. Otherwise, fuel would be flowing. You've got to open the switch to on. The on-off switch is actually the fuel on-off switch. You can see the fuel goes from the gas tank to the on-off switch to the carburetor. I've pulled the cord here, the hose going to the carburetor. I pulled that one out and it flows just fine. And so clearly the stoppage is in the carburetor. And so the trick is going to be to pull this carburetor out of here somehow. Let me get you a closer look at what we're dealing with. So that's the carburetor. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the air intake. I've got a 10 millimeter here. I'm going to remove 2 nuts on the air intake. Once you get them loose with the wrench with the 10 millimeter, you just take them off by hand. Okay, and it's got a hand clamp here. I could go ahead and take that one off, or I'll just take this one off. That's easy enough just to pull it off with your fingers. Okay. And that just kind of folds out of the way. Right, now we've got to take the throttle cable off. That's going to be a little tricky. I think I can reach this one. Okay, there's the washers on there. 2 washers on that screw. And there's another one just like it over here, which I don't know if I'll be able to get it. I got it. Not a great solution, but just kind of lifting that up and out of the way like that. Try not to lose all those washers. All right, whatever this is, it just pops out. You just pop it up, and it just pops out like that. Okay, now we're going to pull this out of here. We're going to pull off the air intake. All right, we've got the air intake off. Undo this throttle here. I think I might be able to pull it off and then undo it. It's got to come all the way. Man, I'm going to take that fuel line off. There's a fuel line back here behind it. That's the fuel line. It's got that hand clamp. We're just going to go ahead and try to remove that one. Just kind of twist it back and forth and pull on it. It's moving, Turn the gas off. I'm gonna kind of tuck that out of the way. Now we're gonna pull this out of here. All the way, baby, come on. Okay, the throttle's holding me up. Got some gas flowing on my hand. Okay, we gotta get that screw out. That's gonna be a real trick. Finally got to use that sucker. Part that comes off. It's got the screw, just a little bracket to hold the throttle line. All right, now that we have this throttle completely disconnected, it's just gonna slide right out. Let me see if I can get in there with a screwdriver. I'm able to remove that jet without having to remove that bracket. Look at that. I'm just unscrewing that jet down there. Now, I've unscrewed easier things in the past. There it is. That's it. That's the jet. Look at this sucker. That's the part I think is clogged. I've got a needle. I'm going to try to get in there. Yes, it does feel like that's a hole. It is super clogged. What about this one? Same thing, it just goes in. Okay, I don't think the holes are supposed to go all the way through. I don't know if there's a hole in the top. This jet was so clogged, now it's so clear. I am super stoked. I really feel like this is gonna work. We just gotta get it back together. I'm gonna drop that jet in right over here. I'm gonna hold this back with our left finger. And drop that jet in. It's turning. Guys, I am not some kind of mechanic. The deal is either it's not going to work or I was going to fix it. Those were the two options. Okay, it's tight, good and tight. Slide this carburetor back on there. We're just using the existing gaskets. It's still in perfect condition. This is one of the trickiest parts of this job, but it's really not that tricky. It just goes to show how simple this job is. So this is the screw I've been turning. This item down here, let me pull this out of the way. You've got to turn this. All right, I've got it in the hole. Move that gas tank a little bit. This thing is genius, guys. This is worth the $7 at Harbor Freight. I like to get these started by hand. And with our handy 10mm, we are going to tighten them up. Okay, connect the fuel line in the back. We gotta tighten our drain valve on the carburetor. That would have been a rookie move. Go full choke. Guys, do you notice anything going on here? That ought to work better. Now why wouldn't it be starting? Guys, well, I've let you down. I apologize. Almost wants to go there. What did I forget? That sucks. Let's see if the fuel flows. Now when I turn this on, it should flow fuel. Or it doesn't. There's no fuel flowing. We've got an obstruction. There's no reason why this thing shouldn't be working. I'm going to set it down here and really wail on it. Try to get it going. I was really hoping to have that fixed. I don't know now what the next step is. Call a friend, phone a friend. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is verify that there's fuel going to the carburetor. Pull the fuel line off to the carburetor. Got the fuel switch off, otherwise known as the power switch. So I'm going to flip the switch. There should be a lot of fuel. That's certainly enough to run this little motor. It's a steady flow. All right, so we've got fuel going to the carburetor. I'm going to pull that carburetor out of there again. I just took this carburetor off again, and I'm just spraying every hole of this thing with carb cleaner. Literally every hole. This one seems clogged. It's 100% clogged, guys. It's getting crazy now. I just took this bolt out. It looks like it's got some kind of, I don't know, it might be a hole in the tip there. But look at this whole bolt. Oh my, guys. This is getting crazy now. There's my float. That's all gunked up. Oh, I see another jet. Look at that jet, guys, right there. My float's even kind of stuck a little. Looks like this one here. Man, that is super corroded, guys. Let me pull that off there. See what the heck that is, but that's going to be my problem. I can tell that thing is super corroded. Whatever the heck that is. Oh, it's a jet. Spray where it lived. Where did it live? In there? I don't know, man. It's pretty clear. It's clear now. It goes all the way through. I don't see any more jets other than just something right under there. I don't really want to take that off, though. I hate to put it back together, only have to take it back apart. And one thing's for sure, there was not a hole there before. That's just a bolt. It totally blows, guys. Look at this. Okay, so when the float is up, it blows. When it's down, maybe my float was stuck. Oh, guys, it's flowing. It's flowing. It's flowing. Let's get this baby back together. Okay, what's first? First, slide it on. Guys, this is going to work this time. I'm so stoked. I'm just going to put everything back together like I did before. Starting with the fuel line this time. Not ending with the fuel line. Alright, we've got it all put back together. We've got fuel flowing like crazy. If I was to open this and turn the on switch, fuel would flow like crazy out of this little port right here. So, I believe we fixed our problem. Our problem was no fuel. Fairly confident this thing is going to fire right up. First pull, second pull, and I'll put the case on, it would be good to go. All right, here's the moment of truth. Let's see what happens. There's only one thing I'm not certain about, was that little electrical part that I put on the top of the carburetor. I started finagling with that. It probably should not have messed with that at all. Let's see what happens. Oh, she wants to go. Guys. Voila! is what a happy camper looks like. Fix the generator. Hey, where there's a will, there's a way, guys. Let's put this baby back together. Be done with this project. Whew.